Now continuing on with the unit circle, we have all the degrees labeled. We have to move on to radians. So you may or may not know what a radian is, so I'm going to take a minute to explain that. A radian is a different way of measuring. So far we've been measuring in degrees, and we have 360 degrees in a circle. That comes from the Babylonian culture, and they just randomly picked that number because they did their math in base 60. So using 360 was easy math for them. So they just divided it into that many pieces. Now mathematically it's not super useful. We've gotten kind of used to it, but there are other ways that might be better to explain how far around a circle we're going. So this is called a radian, and a radian relates the length of the radius. So this length of the radius right here, if you take that same length, like if you took a string and you wrapped it around the edge of the circle and curved it, that would be 1 radian. So this angle in here is 1 radian because it's 1 radius wrapped around the circle. That's how far it is. We can equate that to degrees, and we'll do that in a little while. But for now, you just need to know that a radian is a different way to measure angles. If we keep wrapping that around, so we have 1 radian right here, we have 2 radians, we have 3 radians. It gets not quite all halfway around the circle. So let's keep going. 4, 5, 6, and there's a little bit left. To help you understand this a little bit, that 3 and a little bit, that's actually 3.14 approximately, or otherwise known as pi. And all the way around the circle is 2 pi. So the radians are going to relate to the number pi, and you may know that circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So you basically take 2 pi times the radius and you have your distance around the circle. So we can really closely relate circumference and area and things like that when we're measuring in radians versus degrees. It's a lot harder. So here we go. On the unit circle, we're going to label these parts. So radians still start at 0. So the second blank that doesn't have the little degree symbol is for the radians. So we're going to measure each of these angles in radians now. It still starts at 0. And I just told you that we can go 1, 2, 3 and a little bit. So all the way over here at 180 degrees is pi radians. So I'm not going to write radians every single time. If there's a pi in it, it's assumed to be radians. And then if I go all the way around the circle, that would be 2 pi radians. Now, each of the other angles in here are just a fraction of that. So the top half of the circle, this far is pi. So if I go halfway, then that's 1/2 pi. And we just write pi over 2, because that's 1/2 pi. If I cut that in half, then that would be 1/4. Half of 1/2 is 1/4. So this one, 45 degrees, is pi over 4. So let's just go like this real quick. From 0, we go to pi over 4, that's 1/4. That's 2/4, which is a half. And then over here would be 3/4. So we have to put the 3 on the top with the pi over 4. So 3 pi over 4 is 3/4 pi. And then this, another quarter would be 4/4, which is 1. Down here would be 5/4. And then this one would be 6/4, but 6/4 reduces to 3/2. And these are all fractions. I'm not writing the fraction marks, I'm kind of using that one that's already there. So this was 6/4, and this would be 7/4, and this would be 8/4, which is 2. So we got all the 45-degree angles in there. Now what about 30-degree angles? Well, if I think about this half a circle all the way around here being 1 whole pi, how many pieces are this wide? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm basically taking it and dividing it in sixths. So the 30-degree angle is pi over 6. So 1/6. If I go another 6, that's 2/6. What does 2/6 reduce to be? 1/3. So this is pi over 3. A third is bigger than a sixth, remember. And then we have 3/6, which is 1/2. We have 4/6, which is 2/3. And then we have 5/6, which doesn't reduce. And then we have 6/6, which is 1. 7/6, which does not reduce. 8/6, which does reduce. 9/6, we already have that one. 10/6 reduces. And 11/6. And then 12/6 would be, of course, 2. So 2 pi. So we got all of our radians filled in. I wanted to help you get started on this with your degrees and radians because the videos that are posted in the assignment really help explain the points, I think, really well, but they didn't do a great job with the degrees and radians. So hopefully you have that started. If you could now watch some of the other videos that are posted there and fill in all these points. I'll give you one hint. I told you at the beginning this is called the unit circle. So this length is 1. That means this point is 1, 0. 1, 0 is the name of this point. So I'm guessing you could probably name these 4 points. And then all you have left is these 12 points, which are really easy because they're all actually, this pattern of 3 is the same as these. They're just all in different quadrants, so they're just negative of each other. Anyway, good luck. Let me know if you have questions or want me to post how to do those points as well.